attack today these end barges, and I'll show you. If you see, this one's become really bent and warped, so we're going to be looking at replacing those with new barges, give it a bit of a facelift, make it look awesome. Parts of the barge, there's the main barge and then there's what's called the scribe. We'll be replacing both today, but we're going to concentrate today mainly on the main barge, and I'll show you that as a second video. I'm going to take off that end row of tiles. It's going to, because they sit on the barge, just gets them out of the way, and the easiest way is start at the top, work your way down. Same with all tiles, you'll find that's the easiest way to get rid of them. Okay, so here you see me, I'm just plying the barge off. I've got the crowbar in below. It's just nailed on, so you're just plying the nails off. And the easiest way is start at one end, and you'll see it slowly moves away. And as it moves away, you just work your way up and take it off. Now, I will cut this barge in half. And the reason for that is it's just too heavy for one person to handle by himself. So if I cut it in half, I'll just cut it into smaller pieces. If there's two of you, you're not going to need to do that. You'll have someone down the bottom and he'll just be holding it while you ply it off. I'm showing you today how one person does it. Obviously, if you've got a second person, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, so I'll just run you through a couple of things. When I take these off, you can see they're just nailed through. So we're just plying them off with the crowbar. When I do that, I use that as my anchor point. I try not to use this because this can crack and break, obviously. Now behind that, we have a beam, and obviously that's what we're going to nail into on this one. Because there's no soffit here or eave. If there's an eave or a soffit here, it becomes slightly different. These would extend and you'd have a piece of timber underneath. That's what you would nail into, but it becomes a different animal if you've got an eave or a soffit. So we've taken them all off. We've just got to measure it now, and we've got to get the angles. So we'll get the roof pitch and we'll cut it with the triangle so that we get a good join up in the middle there. And what we want to do is we'll run it past the end here, and we'll cut that once it's all in place. Let's get to it. Okay, so we measured the length of it, and we know that it's 4.1 and 20-degree pitch. So that's how we're going to do it. Now, I like to write my measurements down because people come and talk to you, and before you know it, you've forgotten. So both of them will do it that, which will leave them long and allow us to then alter it. Where am I? So now coming off that, you're going to pull it up. So there's your 20 degrees there. Let's get it cut. and get this cut accurate, it'll make a big difference. That's one. Now we'll do that again, except the angle will bring us obviously down the other way. Now, if those work perfectly, it should join like that at the top with the other one. But obviously, sometimes you need to adjust them up there. So let's go see how we did. Just before we put it up, I'm just going to do something that'll just make it easier for me, obviously, to install it. So this is, so it doesn't keep slipping down. And I'm just going to put 2 nails in, but I'm not putting them right in because I'm going to pull this piece of wood off at the end, obviously. But until then, I'm just chasing it. So that it'll hold it there while I'm putting it in place. And now I'll do that on both. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so here my main goal is to make the join in the barges sit really well together. And you see I do little adjustments on the barges to make sure that that joint's nice and tight. And then I'm just going to toenail the barges so that they don't twist. I don't want them to twist and come apart. Got the beam behind, and I hit the nails in on a little angle to keep everything nice and tight. Then you're going to watch me after I've done that. I'm going to move down to the bottom, and I can adjust the bottom. That's what I'll do. I'll get it to the right place and I'll put some nails in it. After that, it's purely going up, making sure that the barge board's nailed well in place. I've used 3 nails on this. Basically I went one into the tile batten, which probably isn't normal, but it's effective. It holds the top in place, and then 2 lower down. If you can, keep your nails a little higher, because you'll see later on the next video when we do the scribe, it'll actually cover the nails, but you will need 1 or 2 down the bottom. It just stops it twisting, and that's really what we're about. We don't want it to twist again, so that the owner gets a good 20-30 years out of the barge minimum.
There you go, that's the joint in the middle. That's what I mean when you do the 220-degree cuts, they'll get you there. No more gaps on those. And I'll punch those a little bit, but that'll come up schmick. Got to cut the ends now. Okay, so our final thing is to cut this end here. And obviously, the whole idea of the barge is to cap the ends to make it look nice. So we're going to take it just past the end of the gutter. So probably about there. Now the easiest way to do that and to get it level is just to run down it with a level, and then we'll just cut up it with the saw. Like I said, level. So we're running just past. Make sure it's level, because then it'll look straight from the front. Nice. 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 Okay. Blade to the right thickness, obviously. Beautiful. Look at that. Thing of beauty. So there he goes. He's finished off straight, and I'm just going to put a little square in there just to take that top bit there so you don't even see it.
Now, as I do this, just keep note that I do actually use the painted side as the top. Purely because if it's painted, obviously it'll rather than the water getting into the wood, it will protect the wood.
Okay, so basically this piece here does two things. It covers your gutter, and the second thing it does is it's a sacrificial anode. Well, I mean, as much as it can be. So when the water runs down off the tile, it's going to land here. So this will rot out before this does. So it'll give your barge a longer life. That's why we do it. Alright, just quickly, they're all in. And so as I've gone up, you'll see there's a little nail there. Basically, I've put one in all of those edge ones, just so it doesn't obviously tip that way. And sometimes, you know, the tiler generally, these ridges need repointing. When he does it, he'll put a bit in there to hold it together, but try and put a nail in if you can. It'll stop the tiles from moving and falling to the side. Okay, there he is, he's done. So that's part one. Part two will be when we do the scribe, and I'll show you that when we get to it. And all up, he's done. Looking nice. Got the ends capped. And as we swing around, it looks good from the other side. So until the next vid, if you like this, please subscribe, and I will see you then.